All right, guys, so I'm James and this is Kurt. So we are both personal trainers at the Wild Training Gym. And we're going to talk to you about snacks. And this is off the back of the Lose the Belly article that we've written and the Nutrition 101 article. Talking about kind of nutrition and the basics and a lot of the questions that we get asked by our kind of clients when they're trying to lose weight. And also kind of where a lot of those clients go wrong based on you know, conventional diets and lifestyle advice that's in magazines and things like that. And so we wrote a big article and there was a lot of detail in it, and straight away what you get asked is all the practical questions. Yeah. It's like, cool, it's really interesting information, but what does it mean? Do you know what I mean?
Exactly, yeah.
And so, yeah, we went to a petrol station and bought a snack pack, basically. So we're gonna chow down in a minute. But if we were on the road, this is the kind of stuff that we do, right?
Definitely.
And we were saying straight away, you know, Kurt was saying that, you know, the one thing that brings all these things together is kind of nuts. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And when we were looking at, you know, the lose the belly kind of, you know, article and the kind of thing, the message that we want to get across was a lot of it's about balancing macros, and essentially what a lot of these kind of snacks have in common is there's a little bit more fat in them. Do you know what I mean? And actually, if you go into a petrol station, finding fat's hard. Like, you can find protein really easily, and you can find sugar if you blink. But yeah, actually finding healthier sources of fats is harder, and obviously that's a really effective way for us to manage our blood sugar. And it's one of those really weird ones that you can't really burn fat without fat in your diet. It's one of those kind of nutrients that we need to burn fat effectively. And so before we get into this, we'll talk about kind of where we think clients often kind of go wrong, essentially, when they run into a petrol station, they're on the go, and they're looking for what they think are healthy options. So we were talking about things earlier. So what did you come up with?
It's like the brands of snacks that they go for that are marketed as being healthy.
Yeah.
Heavily disguised in their marketing and their branding.
Mars bar protein bars.
Yeah. Just because something's got protein written on, people instantly think, oh, it's a healthy snack.
Yeah.
But you know, they're just putting some artificial way in there in a Mars bar.
Yeah, that still has a load of sugar in it.
Yes, exactly.
That's still going to massively impact that blood sugar. And so when we're talking about, you know, the lose the belly plan, so we wrote this big article that really was talking about blood sugar. You know, if you're trying to be healthy, if you're trying to lose weight, or even if you're trying to gain weight, if you're messing around with your blood sugar a lot, it's all going to start to fall down, kind of thing. And you'll feel rubbish. You know, we're saying, like, there's no good diets that make you feel rubbish. If you feel rubbish, no matter what you're doing, like on a keto diet or whatever, you shouldn't, you know, put yourself through that. So just to lose weight or whatever. So there are better ways of doing it. And so yeah, what we've got here are kind of selections of like seeds and nuts and things like that. So, you know, something like Graze, I mean, that's a big bag because we're all going to share this in a minute. But they do little pots for, I don't know, like a couple of quid or something like that. Most of the time they're on sale or whatever. And then this is a little bag of mixed nuts, fruit and seeds. And so, like we were saying, rather than jumping on like a protein bandwagon and thinking if something's got protein in it, it's healthy for me, it's going to help me lose weight. I don't know if we necessarily agree with that kind of thing because of, you know, what we're saying about your blood sugar. But when you look at these packs, I mean, you can see, I don't know if you can see on the camera, but, you know, you've got the guideline, you know, kind of color coding on the bottom there, and fat and sugar are in the red. And so straight away, that's going to be like in the bin for a lot of people. Yeah. And actually, there's a decent amount of calories in here as well. You know, stuff like 150 calories. But that's on my list because, like, you know, one, I know everything that's in that bag, you know, so there's no crazy Latin words in there. And we were talking earlier about people get confused about what a healthy snack is, and it doesn't take long to educate yourself about how to pick things that are actually healthy. And we were looking at like a peanut butter brand the other day that will remain nameless. But it looked brilliant. It looked one of those really wholesome, you know, earthy type, you know, raw foods.
Give it away.
And but it had a load of like rubbish in it, kind of thing, you know, outside of peanuts, which is all you really want in your peanut butter. So yeah, ignore, you know, the brown, lovely, you know, rustic looking branding sometimes, and go for products where you recognize the ingredients. So, you know, you've got like a variety of dried fruits in it and a variety of nuts. And that's it, you know, and that's cool. We know that. I know my body's going to recognize that, use the nutrients effectively, and it's not going to have to work too hard on breaking down weird toxin, you know, kind of full refined foods, which is what we're always trying to do. We're trying to keep our diets nice and clean. And whilst it has a load of calories in it, they're useful, you know. The interesting thing about fats is that they don't just get used for movement. So if Kurt eats a load of, I don't know, flapjacks because he's gone into a petrol station and he's seen sugar and he's craving sugar and he's like, yes, flapjacks. The problem with that is it's mostly sugar. And if you don't use it, you're going to store it as fat and it's going to affect your blood sugar and all these kind of things. With fat, so many different parts of our kind of body, our makeup is going to use fats usefully. So my nervous system, my organ kind of regeneration, you know, my eyes, my skin, there's loads that I can do with fat in my body kind of thing. And so you don't necessarily have to go, oh, I've got to burn all that later. So that's going to be harder work because there's more calories in a higher fat food. That's just the wrong way to look at it. You know, it's a nutrient that we want to have in our diets. And actually, you know, similar to protein, I think a lot of people are talking about eating a lot of protein now. Not very many people in the UK are protein deficient, no. you know? And it's one of those weird ways of us trying to get away with eating less carbs, which, you know, we don't think long term is an effective way of training your metabolism up. And if you've got a fast metabolism, maintaining a lean body and a healthy lifestyle becomes easier, right? So that's what we think is, you know, we want to lose fat. Rather than just thinking about burning fat, I want to train your metabolism up, and I can do that through training you to eat the right foods, right? So if we have a little bit more kind of fat in our diet, that's going to be a good thing. We know fat's going to help us control and manage our blood sugar more effectively. And then, you know, the other side of that is obviously the dried fruit. And so last couple of days, I think I've had multiple kind of conversations with members and clients about you know, having dried fruit as a snack. Things like goji berries and all the really sexy sounding super fruits and stuff like that, right? And it's like, they're good, but it's still a dried fruit and it's still a higher GI kind of sugar. So goji berries is a great example. On the dried apricots or whatever you have, raisins are a really high GI kind of sugar. And what that means is the sugars in that food, they enter your blood very, very quickly, and then you get one of those sugar spikes, and then you get one of the crashes kind of thing. The advantage of having something like nuts and seeds and fruit all together is the fat slows down the release of the sugars. So if you have a sweet tooth, which a lot of people that are trying to lose weight have, because essentially a lot of the time people that are overweight have this routine, this lifestyle where they've not managed their blood sugar. Mm-hmm. And so for me then to go, what you want to do is just eat walnuts. You know, walnuts are not going to work for a lot of people from a satisfaction point of view. Yeah. If you want something sweet, you know, something, you know, like you know, dried fruit with nuts is probably going to be a little bit easier to palate, to transition you away from those really high sugar foods, like, you know, the buttery flapjack snacks, like, you know, the boost bars with protein, you know, the grenade bars, and all these healthy, you know, kind of foods and snacks that we see in the petrol station, the fizzy drinks, you know, even if you look at like some of the coconut waters, they've got loads of sugar in them. You know what I mean? So, you know, coconut water is good for me because it's in this really nice, healthy looking bottle, and it's like there's a lot of sugar in that, you know.
Your taste buds do seem to alter after like 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah.
These more natural foods do end up tasting sweeter, and that
totally.
That you get.
I mean, like I was awful when I was younger. You know, in my eating, I was so fussy, and I would like, I didn't have a very good spectrum of vegetables in my diet, and like you would never catch me eating a tomato. Yeah. They were like disgusting to me. Yeah. And we had this conversation earlier about how people that have a lot of sweet things in their diet, for example, somebody that drinks a lot of Coca-Cola, I don't think I've ever met somebody that drinks a lot of Coca-Cola that likes vegetables like broccoli and tomatoes. And it's, you know, whether that's a psychological thing or an emotional thing or a physical kind of change that your body goes through when you have those things in your diet a lot that stop you enjoying more natural sugars kind of thing that you do have in vegetables. There's carbohydrates in loads of vegetables, it's just they're not roided up with all these kind of like hardcore, you know, sweeteners and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, what have we got to? So we like fats basically, and natural fats, so seeds and nuts and stuff like that. If we're gonna have something with a bit of sugar in it, like you know, dried fruit for example, which seems like a healthy snack, add some fat into it. So I've got my seeds and my nuts. You know, the grazed things, they normally taste really good. There's a little bit of salt on them and stuff like that, which we don't have to be crazy about, but they're definitely not bad snacks to have on the go. And if the goal is to lose weight, then your goal is to control your blood sugar. And these kind of things are really effective ways of doing that on the go. And actually, what normally people find quite surprising is when you start eating you know, fats, even though they obviously, what we said, they freak out about the amount of calories that are in them. Those calories, well, they fill you up for longer, if that makes sense. You know, so you end up eating less, you know, as an average across the day. Yeah, so, you know, if we had 10 almonds, actually by the time I've had my 10th almond, I'm probably done, you know, especially when they're not covered with salt and things like that. So, so that's cool. These are the other two kind of, you know, obvious kind of choices. So you do the thing where you walk by the healthy breakfasty bar type, you know, stand, and you normally see brands like this and Nutri-Grain and stuff like that. I picked out these two because I find that most of the people I talk to, like, you know, clients and stuff, they buy these kind of bars, and one of them I'd throw away. Because we've talked about basic rules. How do you pick what's a healthy snack and what's a not healthy snack when they both look like healthy snacks? So one, can I understand all the ingredients on the back of the pack? And you might look like a bit geeky in the petrol station looking at what's in it, but part of the cool crew, so yeah, don't worry about it. And once you kind of get into it, you get quicker at it. But the other thing that I have as a rule is, as a target for a snack, I like to not go over 10 grams of sugar. Now that's not carbohydrates, okay? So when you look at the back of a pack, a lot of the time you'll have carbs and you know, you'll have of which are sugars. And it's of which are sugars that we want to kind of minimize to about 10 grams kind of thing. So that one has 18 grams in it, and this one has like less than 5. So straight away, if you're trying to lose weight and control your blood sugar, that's your choice kind of
thing. And look how similar they look. So
yeah.
Just doing a bit of looking at the back.
There's nothing in it at all. Yeah, totally. And so and they both taste good, you know. So it's not like you're doing yourself a mischief by having a substandard taste. So yeah, that's a really good rule to remember. If I can keep my snacks to under 10 grams of sugar, would be a winner, I think. Okay. This one's another one. So this is to explain that my rules are relatively loose, and so I reckon this has 13 grams of sugar in it, which definitely isn't a disaster. And it's peanut butter, so there's actually a little bit of fat in there, and there's a decent amount of fiber in there as well. And you know, we talked about fat. Great way of slowing down the release of sugar in your body, which makes your blood sugar easier to control. But the other thing that does that is fiber. And so fiber is, obviously something that we want in our diets. And when you have these more natural kind of products, you tend to get that as well. So they're good options as things you can grab on the go and eat ridiculously kind of conveniently kind of thing. And then that's in that part. That's my small little grazed pot.
See, sort of portion-wise.
Apart
from this, they're all pretty similar.
Yeah. Ignore my share pack. I can go over there. That's just for fun.
But it's snack, not meal.
Totally. Now these options, this is like me and Kurt with it. This is like our go-to. Yes, I've got hummus and falafel in my life. Today's a good day. And interestingly, one of my personal training clients just came in, and I think he said. Everything here, that's like what I'd eat at 9:30 to 10:30 at night when I've gone, oh my God, I need sugar. Okay, so we'll talk about that in a minute. But he was like, I wouldn't eat these. And we were like, damn, why? Because like, we were saying this is like a little treat for us, you know. There's in my head there's a lot of like carbohydrates in there, and my body responds to that. It's like I don't just need sugar. Actually, if I get the carbs in, that's going to help me manage my blood sugar. Like we said in the Lose the Belly article, you want carbs in your diet. You want to have the energy in your muscles to train properly, to manage your blood sugar and to increase your metabolism. You know, the only thing that's going to happen if we really stop eating carbs is our metabolism is going to slow down, which doesn't sound like a goal of somebody that's trying to make it easy to maintain their lifestyle. So I haven't even checked this. This is where I find out I'm completely wrong about like this being like a healthy option. Do you know what I mean? But so what are the nutrients in these bad boys? Does it even tell you?
I'm here, we got it.
You got it?
Yeah.
Oh, I got it. So how much sugar you got?
So of which sugars, 4.5 grams per.
5.7. So carrots beat falafel, which we could have guessed, because this is sweet potato falafel because it's sweet.
Nice.
How many carbs you got?
Carbohydrate 7.3.
19.6.
Yeah.
So.
Difference.
Yeah, but that shows you that, you know, I've got what, like nearly 3 times the amount of carbohydrates as this, but there's only a gram difference in the amount of sugar, okay? So I can have more carbs in my diet without increasing my sugar intake by choosing the right products. And so, you know, if today me and Kurt know we're about to do an absolutely monstrous sandbag workout that's gonna completely destroy us, my falafel will fuel my workout more effectively than these carrots.
My carrots.
Yeah. And so, you know, the last thing you want is to underfuel your body, because then if you're training to get, you know, fitter, stronger, to create a metabolic impact, and you're not fueling that, your body is going to fail, kind of thing. The disadvantage of these products is you can't eat them on the go particularly easily. You're like multi-potting, and yeah, man, you're gonna drop some hummus, and that's gonna be a nightmare. But they are colourful, nutrient-dense, really, really good products. They are a really good macro kind of breakdown. And you were talking about macros earlier, right? So, you know, what do we say about macros as a general plan? We say, ideally, in a day, 50% of my calories are going to come from carbohydrates. 25% of my calories are going to come from protein, and 25% of my calories are going to come from fat. Now, 50, 25, 25. That doesn't have to be a precise science.
No.
And you know, Kurt was saying, you know, do all your snacks have to be, you know, balanced specifically for your macro breakdown? No, and it becomes way more challenging to do that. And I think if you take, you know, the practical basic rules that we're talking about, ideally less than 10 grams of sugar, cool. Ideally sources of healthy fats. And ideally made of ingredients that you understand. Like, I know where hummus and falafel comes from, you know, and there's exactly, and there's not weird, wonderful kind of you know, sauces and whatever in there that we have to worry about, kind of thing. So they're really, really good products. The other place I think a lot of time, you know, obviously people go wrong on the road and on the go is where they drink. We know obviously drinking water is really, really important for fat loss and health and all these different reasons, and maintaining blood sugar. But a lot of people don't drink water on the go. They grab a can of Coke, or they grab a can of, I don't know, something that looks healthy, like we talked about coconut water earlier. Load of sugar in it, so that's not an ideal option. God man, the lattes and all that kind of stuff are nuts in terms of the amount of sugar in them. So yeah, if we were going to take a drink on the go, and especially, you know, I want to try and manage my blood sugar, I don't want to have a load of calories as well. We actually sell Tenzing at the gym, and as soon as we saw it as a product, we were like, it is amazing. You know, I think they're the fastest growing energy drink in the UK last year. But it's a completely natural, plant-based energy drink, and it's an old school kind of Sherpa recipe. So Norgay Tenzing is one of the first 2 guys to summit Mount Everest, so there's a little bit of heritage there. But this is literally 7 ingredients. They're totally natural. Fit our rule that if you can read it. So what we've got beet sugar, Indonesian gooseberry, lemon juice, Himalayan rock salt, green tea extract, guarana, and green coffee extract. So the caffeine in here is completely naturally occurring, and there really isn't very much caffeine in here. But in terms of carbohydrates or sugars, 4.5 grams. So we want to stick to under 10 grams per snack. I mean, I could have this and my hummus and carrots and still be under 10 grams. And like, if you compare that to what even our healthy-ish snack bar, this is like 19 grams of sugar. So this is double the amount of sugar of these 2 things, and you know that's going to make you feel better. You know it's going to help you manage your blood sugar more effectively, and it's actually going to definitely keep you kind of fuller for longer. So if we're trying to lose weight, that's a good thing for us to achieve because of the fiber, because of the fat, and all that kind of jazz. In total, this is 48 calories. So for a little kind of pick-me-up in the middle of the day, it's probably a better option than most of the things you'll be able to find. So yeah, if you haven't tried a Tenzing, I live on them pretty much. And again, all of these brands and products, we don't have any kind of deals with them. I still have to buy this stuff. I'm basically fueled by love and Tenzing, so this is a game changer for me. But definitely, have a go at that as a healthy snack and option to drink in the middle of your day, in the mid-morning kind of thing. And then these 2 are kind of your more conventional, I guess practical strategies to I guess get some nutrients into your body and to help people manage their blood sugar, because obviously we know the whole high protein thing came from this idea that if I have protein in my diet, it's going to make it easier for me to manage my blood sugar. That is a really kind of traditional, very clean, very good quality vegan protein. And then this is a brand that have basically put together pretty much a perfect meal replacement. You know, if I was going to make a meal replacement, it would probably look similar to that. And again, you know, it sticks to our rules, right? So we said I want ingredients that I can recognize. So it's like, you know, pea protein, flaxseed, rice protein, oats, sunflower seeds, and flax seeds, I think. But it's all stuff you know, and it's 50% carbs. Is it 50% carbs? Or 40% carbs, and then 33% protein, 33% fat, so pretty close to where we want to be. And yeah, I think on the whole, we've always had really good feedback from how Huel tastes as well. So it's got a natural like vanilla flavor into it.
I use it multiple times a day myself.
Yeah. And we were saying, I think people make the assumption that personal trainers have an easy time sorting out their food. We have minutes between sessions sometimes. We're up at 5 a.m. in the morning. We're not allowed to disturb our families making smoothies and lunches and stuff. Yeah, you know, so it's not an easy job, and making healthy food practical, that's a very important part of our jobs, kind of thing. So your Huel is definitely a good option. The reason we talk about this one is if I had to make a bet on who would lose more weight, the person that maybe has 1 to 2 protein shakes a day versus somebody that has 1 to 2 Huel shakes a day, I'd kind of bet on that guy, because obviously you're probably going to have less calories. Yeah. You're still managing your blood sugar. You know, if you mix that with something like almond milk, it tastes really sweet. So psychologically, I'm getting that little treat kind of thing in the middle of the day or whatever.
Yeah.
But obviously, there's less calories, and yeah, I just would have thought that if you're really trying to lose weight in a positive way, where you're maintaining lean muscle mass and maintaining your metabolism, I would have thought that's probably a better option. But they really are both suitable options for that middle of the day rubbish period where it's very hard to get nutrient dense quality food in you, basically. So I can chuck a scoop of this into a shaker, shake it up, and actually not go into that catabolic, cortisol elevating, horrible blood sugar zone where I'm going to be tired, feeling rubbish, in a bad mood. And then you know what's going to happen either very quickly or later on at night is I'm going to want to eat a load of sugar, right? And if I eat a load of sugar, I'm not going to be doing myself any favors long term in terms of losing weight. And that's where we were talking earlier about how my client said, all of that lot, that's what I would go and eat at 9 o'clock at night. And I said this to a client the other day, and I said, when you eat your evening meal, do you feel like you have a sugar craving after your evening meal? And they looked at me like I was crazy. And I was like, no. The next day, she was like, you know what, I went home and ate my evening meal, and I craved sugar. And that's similar to what this client said, in that he wanted all these sweet snacks late at night, and that's not because of what happens in the evening. I think sometimes people think that they're almost, the way I'm built, I have to have sugar at night. And it's like, no, that's because you messed up your day, So in the day, you've had these huge gaps in your food intake, or you've picked those high sugar, healthy options, and they've made your blood sugar shoot up, and then it's come down, and then your cortisol has kind of come up to manage the rest of your day. You've had a big gap because you had a late meeting or a customer, jump on you or whatever to ruin your working day, and then you get home and stuff starts to try and level itself out before you go to sleep, and you just end up doing what your body is telling you to do, is eating a load of sugar. So if we kind of work out the middle of our day better, so my AM snack, my lunchtime, my afternoon snack, with options like this, then I reckon by the time we get to the evening, we're going to start to be feeling way better. I think I'm probably going to feel better about eating healthier options in general, because all of this is me investing in that idea of not eating a chocolate bar, not eating drinking a can of Coca-Cola or something. So these are all little investments in that I am an active, healthy guy. and that makes a big difference for sure. And obviously, it's gonna stop those big increases in blood sugar that we need to try and avoid to make sure you are losing weight in a healthy way. So hopefully, what we're showing you are some practical things you can go to. I reckon most petrol stations and find something. I mean, for God, don't eat all of it at the same time.
No.
But you've got your rules, right? Under 10 grams of sugar, ingredients that you recognize, try and find some healthy looking sources of fats. And I reckon you're going to start to manage your blood sugar and actually lose weight in a much more efficient way.
These things are quite easy to replicate yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
If you have got the time, it's quite easy to sort of make something like this yourself.
100%. Yeah, and I think this is the first of our lose the belly videos. And we thought we'd go straight in at the deep end and work out the biggest problem for most people, because everybody's running around jumping on a petrol station snack pack. So this is almost the worst case scenario, right? So what we'll do is we'll look at definitely some homemade kind of tray bake type things that will be good. I've got an easy bake granola bar that is amazing. So we'll talk about what the trainers actually do to maybe keep our kind of cost down in terms of eating and living a healthy lifestyle. And then we'll look at lunches, because I think lunches can be tricky, even though we're given a bit more time at lunch, hopefully, to sort out some healthy meals. So we'll look at lunches that we can do. And then we'll go through breakfast and dinner. Breakfast and dinner should be the easiest ones, because you hopefully are somewhere like your home where you can sort stuff out and you've organised yourself properly. So breakfast and dinners we'll cover, but I think first we'll look at the middle of the day where most people are making the most mistakes because of all this confusing information around high protein diets and low sugar diets and low fat diets, and actually hopefully this video will help you guys make some better choices on the go.